field for CTN coverage of the 2008 Minnesota State High School Boys Soccer Tournament. Tonight, quarterfinal action between the number 3 seeded Coon Rapids Cardinals and the Tigers from St. Cloud Tech. Joe Young, Howie Shapiro, and Chad Keeney in the booth tonight with all of the action. And guys, two teams with very similar records, each team only 2 losses, and playing very well. Both teams very low scoring as far as giving up goals. These Tigers haven't given up a goal in the last 4 games.
And number 41, junior Bob Simpson.
Well, you know, and the thing is, too, obviously not having an opportunity to see St. Cloud Tech, I'm not sure we'll see the kind of level of competition. They've played similar, a couple of teams similar, St. Cloud Apollo and Elk River. They split the series with Elk River, did St. Cloud Tech, and they also believe they beat Apollo.
They beat Apollo and tied them.
Yep.
Grant Spanner.
Yeah, no, this is a big unknown for the Cardinals. They really haven't had a chance to see a whole lot of game footage or seen them at all, but and I know they haven't seen too much of us. So two teams coming in the state tournament, knowing very little about the other, but like you said, they're both very low scoring.
You know, and also you look at the level of competition. Is it quite the same that Coon Rapids plays here in the cities? We'll see if St. Cloud plays up to that level.
Here's a look at the brackets. The number 2 seeded Osseo Orioles advancing with a 3-1 win over Lakeville North here on this field just a few minutes ago. Coon Rapids and St. Cloud Tech battling for the opportunity to face them at the Metrodome on Monday night. In the top half of the bracket, number 1 seed Apple Valley taking on St. Louis Park tonight. And Bloomington Jefferson, the number 4 seed, is playing against Stillwater. And the winners of those 2 games will also play at the Metrodome on Monday afternoon.
Starting with the non-starter. Number 6, senior.
Well, you know, and 2. The field being the field turf. We'll see how both those teams. I believe St. Cloud occasionally plays on field turf up in St. Cloud. So I'm not sure how much opportunity. And you maybe know this, Chad. How many times the Cardinals have played on field turf?
Actually, our record this year has been a little suspect when it comes to the turf. We did play it at Cretin in the 3-0 loss, as well as in Minnetonka in the 1-0 loss in overtime. So our experiences with turf this year aren't as good, but they did get a little practice time over at Moundview actually earlier this week, which is the exact same field that we're seeing here tonight at Irondale.
When you walked the halls of Irondale how many years ago, and you were a big star here from what we understood, and we saw pictures of you all over the inside of the school. They didn't have the field turf when you went, I'm certain.
No, and to get back, the size of the star, I guess, is all relative. No, this is actually new. This has been added in the last, I believe, 7 or 8 years. And just a beautiful facility to both either run track or play football or as they're doing tonight, playing soccer.
Let's take a look at the starters for tonight's game. On the left, the starters for the Tigers. Goalkeeper Ryan Feeney, I believe 8 shutouts on the season. Jonathan Mavitz, Morris Garjay, Dan Stotterow are the defenders. In the midfield are Fadima, Krafnick, Kruger, and Frolich. The forwards are Nick Nugent, Grant Spanier, and Elias Fark. For the Cardinals, Biernat, between the posts, I believe, has 10 shutouts to his credit this season. Sean Robb, Caleb Gavick, and Kevin Nelson, the defenders. Jimmy Cruckton, Rob Wilson, Adam Pappas, Brian McBride, and Lawrence Towery starting in the midfield. Emmanuel Carr and Kyle Davis starting at the forward. And guys, it's not very often you see all 3, Towery, Carr, and Davis, in the starting lineup.
No,
typically wait to bring Lawrence in until about 10 minutes in to spell one of the other 2 forwards.
Well, I believe, is it Morgan hurt at the end of the Anoka game? I believe it was. So Lawrence is put into the starting lineup this evening.
And anytime you can throw in an all-state honorable mention in the starting lineup, I don't think you're going to be hurt too much.
You know, and you look at the size, Chad, of both teams. Coon Rapids looks much bigger than do St. Cloud. And I don't know if it's, you know, I think that both teams, and especially Coon Rapids, likes to play a physical brand of soccer.
They can, especially in the midfield with the bigger players, with Morgan and especially McBride and Pappas. But in the game of soccer, it is kind of for the average size athlete, and size doesn't always dictate.
I understand
the quality of play.
That's why you're here.
But by the end of the game, it certainly could come into be as a factor if there is a lot of physical play.
When you had an opportunity to see Jason Jacob, the coach of the year in the state of Minnesota for high school boys soccer. Congratulations to him.
Yeah, selected by the Coaches Association for AA.
Yeah, just a fantastic year for this program and for all Cardinal athletics, really. You see Jason Jacob, as you mentioned, the state coach of the year, and 2 all-state players, and 1 all-state honorable mention in Lawrence Taller. And it's Pappas and Davis that were the all-staters, yes?
Pappas and Biernet.
Pappas and Biernet, that's right.
Yep, midfielder and a goaltender.
I should have known that. 10 shutouts. And the way he's played all season.
He stands out.
It was nice thing coming in to know they had a third-year starter as their last line of defense. And not only that, but girls and boys soccer teams winning sections. Both cross-country teams won section titles today. So 4 out of the 8 sports in the fall season, the Cardinals have won section titles.
Yep, and they all followed it up well after winning the conference titles to then make it up to the state tournaments.
And both the football team and volleyball team still playing in section tournaments. Football team's chances of capturing the title a little better than that of the volleyball team, perhaps, but that chance is still there.
We see a lot of the Osseo players here will play the winner of this game. Here watching for Monday's game at the Dome.
Colin Sauer serving it over across, and a big collision just outside the box will draw a whistle, and a great opportunity for the Tigers right here.
Taking another look at that.
Yep, they'll get a free kick set piece here just outside the 18.
Grant Spanier being tackled and drawing the whistle.
Biernet asking for a 4-man wall.
What's the strategy behind that in terms of the amount of men that you have at the wall?
Fadima runs up on it, steps over. The shot right on, save made and cleared away. And it'll be a corner kick now.
The idea is
Rafnick with a good, strong shot on goal, and Biernet was there.
We're going to see it again.
The closer the wall is to the net, depending on where the free kick is, the more men you're going to want to have in the wall. Because what it does is it reduces the amount of space that the goaltender is required to cover.
Rob Wilson did a nice job clearing the rebound away. Here's the corner coming in. Biernet punched at it. Shot that didn't make it through traffic. Another one and a big stop by Biernet, getting tested early.
Well, St. Cloud Tech coming on applying, as you mentioned, pressure early, and I think they obviously you want to get the advantage here. It's important, I think, to get the first goal in a game like this.
Yeah, I think what you're seeing now is the effect of the surface, the unfamiliarity with the playing field, and that's counted for Biernet missing a couple balls there where he should have held on to it, as well as a missed kick there by the sweeper.
And we'll see how, as this game unfolds, how they adjust to this.
Now
turf.
Coon Rapids pushing it in deep. Pappas' shot! Oh, and the defender came in to rob a goal.
Pappas,
I believe that was Jonathan Mavitz who saved it.
We're going to see it here. I think that, yeah, it was. That was a beautiful play in front of the net for the defense for St. Cloud Tech.
And now Coon Rapids with the corner kick opportunity. Cruckton will serve it in, and to the back corner, Wilson puts a header on it. And they allow it to go out of bounds. It'll be a goal kick.
Good scoring opportunities really for both teams right now.
Absolutely.
Get to the state tournament, you're expecting to see exciting soccer, and it hasn't let us down.
couple of good scoring opportunities. We're not even 4 minutes into this game. There's some physical play near midfield as Pappas collided with Helminick.
Well, I think we're going to see a physical game here tonight.
Gavik's throw in headed by Carr.
I don't think the Cardinals would back away from that. They'll allow whatever the referee more or less allows to take place. So both teams will test their limits.
I think both teams just trying to figure out what their opponent, what kind of brand of soccer their opponent plays.
And I don't think either of them really have a whole lot of state tournament experience. So coming into this game, they're both, if their jitters are a little bit high, that's equal on both sides for both benches. Now we get a chance here to see Tallery.
Nice stop in the midfield, shaking loose Frolich, and a long shot in, and the save made.
Good left-footed cracker there by Lawrence Tallery. As you mentioned earlier, the Cardinals do have two attackers in, both Tallery and Davis.
Second foul of the game called against Coon Rapids. This time not in a very dangerous spot, but allows St. Cloud Tech to push it to the other end of the floor quickly. Sauer with it now. Long shot in and well high and wide.
You're seeing off this surface, even the shots are coming in harder on net. You just get that much cleaner of a
You saw the
less friction.
Collision with Frolich getting upended by Carr, and that was what drew the free kick.
As we talked about, I think the advantage that Tech has is the fact that they play on this type of turf quite a bit. So they're a little more used to what kind of give it's going to have. Where Cardinals is, as you mentioned, just a little bit of history this year, not real successful at that.
Nope, but certainly hoping to turn that around tonight.
Not sure what the holdup is, but
Well, they've stopped the clock.
our official talking to both benches and handing a yellow card to the Tech bench.
My guess is one of the players was perhaps out of uniform, either with jewelry or a watch or necklace. Perhaps in these days even an earring.
You know, those are things that kids should know beforehand, that these are the rules and you can't have this on, and a ref will call you for it.
Yeah, we haven't seen that incident come up already this year with the girls team.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and it was a state high school official who pointed it out to the official. Pappas, a long throw in, Tallery breaking in on it, but Feeney got there just before him and scooped it up.
Feeney doing a good job of being aggressive there and taking away any opportunity that Tallery might have been able to create with a little bit more space.
And I think we have two very aggressive goaltenders tonight.
Be another free kick coming up here for Tech. They're looking for a quick set.
And again, just outside the box, place where they can put on good pressure. Last time we saw Vadima run over it and Krafnick take the shot right on goal. Now three guys lining up back there. Shot up over the net by Vadima.
That was good thought, and it was a pretty crisp shot, as you mentioned, just a little bit too high, but definitely testing Biernet.
If you notice on the dimensions of this field too, the sidelines are a little bit further out than what the Cardinals are used to playing on. It's actual soccer field dimensions as opposed to football field dimensions with the crown.
It means the field is actually a mite bit shorter as well.
Yeah, you can see the goals are in front of the football.
This one headed in on that Feeney there to swallow it up.
Goalposts. back there in the touchdown zone.
There you go. We've coined that now. As we talked about that at the football game.
Feeneyisms. Tallery working it on the sideline, playing it ahead for Davis in the corner. Good pressure coming over, good help as Gargier came over to cut off the corner and not allow Davis to get in.
In games past, we've seen the throw-in be very, very dangerous. Here it's just a little bit more limited.
Well, especially with Anoka. Their throw-in was excellent.
Came right back to Cruckton and kicked right back out by Elias Fark.
Yes, they're all-state player. Sorry, easier for me to say. Gustafson was incredible with his throw-ins.
Yeah, and it's the Cardinals scored on 2 throw-ins as well. But tough to throw it in when the sidelines are another 10 yards
beyond what you're used to.
Yeah. Cleared back upfield by Kevin Nelson. Tallery trying to create, but broken up and knocked away from him. Cardinals keep it in the Tigers' half, though. Gavick to Pappas. Good pressure coming from behind by Fark. Ends up out of bounds to the Cardinals. Serves it in, looking for Davis. Broken up, Fark turns it around, and another foul against Coon Rapids. That's the 4th.
Jimmy Cruckton going in there just a little late and a little out of control.
And I think that, too, that brings things up in the minds of the officials. You get some penalties, a fair amount of them early. They tend to watch a little closer. Mavitz
puts a good boot behind him. McBride got ahead on it first. Robb gets it going in the Cardinals' direction. Stopped up by Helminick. Here's a chance by Nugent. And coming over to stop it up was Kevin Nelson, but it'll be a corner kick for the Tigers.
Yeah, as much as each team would like to do, kind of take control and set the pace of the game, the referees would certainly like to set a tone when it comes to safety and calls.
Absolutely.
Fark will take it from the near corner. Line drive right to the middle, cleared away by Tallery. Davis pushing it up the sidelines. Good speed by Rob Wilson. Getting to the outside and finally had it knocked off his foot.
Tech able to keep it in there.
Colin
Nice
Sauer doing the theft on the sidelines. But here's Davis getting it back for the Cardinals. Trying to create, getting around into the corner. Look at how well they're marked, though. 5, 6 blue jerseys quickly back into that 18-yard box. And as good as Davis can be at creating space, it's tough when there are 6 guys down there and you're the only white jersey.
Yeah, I've even seen it in their free kick setup down towards the 18-yard box on Beernut's end of the net. Or into the field.
Their leading scorer by far, launches it off of Gavick. Wilson puts a header on it, gets it back to midfield.
Yeah, I think it went right off his face.
Tech's strategy right now, I believe, is to more or less focus on defense and hopefully make the most out of the opportunities that they're given.
Tallery turns Mavitz in a knot and then gets it to Davis. Davis had it bounce off him a little bit, gave Mavitz a chance to get back in position, and now in the corner. Mavitz can't keep it in. It'll be a Cardinal throw-in deep.
But they're going to try to make their defensive end of the field more or less look like I-94 at 4 o'clock on a Tuesday.
A little bit of congestion is what you're saying.
Bit backed up.
Bit.
I love the metaphors. Pappas. Good throw and header right on, but the defender actually, I think that was, I believe that was the defender that kicked it away, but it was a good header right on goal.
And watch the action in front of the net. You made really a strong kick in front. That was Garjay, I believe.
I believe you are correct. Good, strong play. Now, Cardinals have 4 shots on goal by my tally. 2 have been stopped by defenders when the Cardinals have had the keeper beat. Long feed. Trying to get Randall down in the corner. He's battling with Garjay and tried to knock it off him and get a corner. Instead, it'll be a goal kick.
Yeah, long through ball there where it's actually very well played by Pappas. It was pretty much the right distance, right speed. Well defended by the Tech players.
Feeney, low line drive, stopped up by Pappas. Tech started to control, but Mavitz kind of sends a high anybody's ball near midfield. Coming away with it is Spanier. Had Rob turned around a little bit. This one played in toward the corner, and Biernat will come out and scoop it up.
I think the Cardinal fans were looking for a penalty there.
Frolich using his body to keep Davis at bay, and then his pass broken up by Gavick. Here's Carr sending it back from Morgan. Getting it back for Carr. Had to wait for it to settle a little. Oh, and the Cardinals just overran it. Miscommunication draws some fans. Fark leading a charge at the other end. A left foot that goes wide, and a goal kick for Coon Rapids.
Yeah, Morgan and Davis not on the same page there.
And they need to work that out because they can't let that happen too often.
Another look at the end of the play. But yeah, Pappas played that to space, and 2 players went away from the ball. Nelson, a good boot on the goal kick. Carr with a header on it. McBride pressuring on Fadima, played back to the defense and now into the Coon Rapids end. Stopped up by Gavick. Good control passing by the Tigers here on the sidelines. Davis came in behind. A collision with Helminick ends up out of bounds to Coon Rapids.
I think you're finding Cardinals just starting to settle into their environment now.
Fadima trying to force it up. The Cardinals stopped it up, but another foul called.
Certainly calling it tight in the early minutes.
Yeah, they are. There's no doubt. And I think Coon Rapids just maybe a little sluggish in the beginning, but you're right. I think they're trying to feel where their environment is now and learning to play again on this turf.
Mavitz near midfield, playing it in, trying to get it to Krafnick. Plays it high in the air toward the far corner, and Biernat will grab it in front of Grant Spanier.
Good experience for Biernat there, seeing how the ball plays, the bounce. Coming in on him on net. Played it well, capturing it at its peak.
Davis can't get past Mavitz. His pass broken up by Pappas. Krafnick still got a head on it. Nice move by Randall to spin around Fark. That pass broken up by Fadima. Moves it to the back line of defense. Gavick quickly turns it around. Garjay playing it to the near sideline, and unable to keep it in was Elias Fark.
Number 13,
Tallery coming in for the Cardinals. Brad Kruger and Mohammed Hassan on to the field for St. Cloud. Carr heads it back toward the middle. Tallery will take it. High shot that's sailing away into the night. And it'll be a goal kick. That was a little more leg than he wanted to give it. or at least a little more loft.
Yeah, I think the lift behind it was just a little bit too much.
Nice job by Pappas stopping it up on near midfield. Morgan, a nice steal to get around the corner on Storu. Here's Tallery in the corner, shaking one defender. Now playing it out front, and a great save by Feeney. It won't count as a save because there was no shot on goal, but he certainly saved a goal as he dived out and took it away from Andrew Morgan, who was coming in.
Yeah, and he was lucky there wasn't a Cardinal there in front when he dove out, because that was right in front of the net. Unfortunately for them, for Tech, there was no white jersey there.
Outstanding.
Shot from a tough angle, went off a St. Cloud body and out, and it'll be a corner kick.
Tallery showed just a little bit of why he's all-state honorable mention there with setting up that play. He's nifty.
Yeah, incredible footwork.
Yeah, he had two men on him and still able to find room, and then served it out front toward Morgan. Here's Morgan's corner kick. Techie got ahead on the ball first, and here's Garjay playing it ahead for Hassan. And now Garjay running right past Pappas, has some space. Shot by Fadima is up over the net.
Nice two-touch play by Fadima there.
Yeah, I mean, Tech's doing a nice job of moving the ball upfield and getting the opportunities to get a shot on goal.
Well, and Morris Garjay, who has played at defense all game long, started this whole thing, bringing it down, and there's that two-touch, just got under it a little bit too much. Another goal kick for Nelson. This will be the first foul called against Tech, as Carr was held up a little bit. Just about midway through this first half, state quarterfinal.
You can feel the buzz in the air. Any state tournament event's going to have it, and this one certainly does.
Nelson, a good shot. Good placement by Pappas, who was taken down by Feeney. The Cardinals want to call. They're not going to get it. But I don't know, goalies can't tackle the offensive player from behind, can they?
Well, their focus should be on the soccer ball itself.
Well, he went up for that, but he then turned into like a receiver who is well defended and has to play defense.
Well, I think he's just going up. I think he's, well,
not
there he is. No,
isn't.
not there he isn't. And
he tackled him.
Yeah, he did.
In the heat of the moment, the referee may have missed that.
Well, they
obviously did miss it.
Well, the Tech got away with a big one there, because that's penalty kick material, if I'm not mistaken, because of where it was. Either way, play continues after the corner kick. Tech able to work it out near midfield. Carr had it taken off his foot. And now out of bounds to the Tigers.
We are just now under halfway through this first half.
Fadima plays it down in. Nobody down there but Biernet. He scoops it up and will punt it away. Tallery.
Got the handball call.
Andrew Morgan, this should be you.
Yeah, was it the handball or the hold on Tallery that Tallery pleaded with the official, and then I think there might have been a handball right after that. Either way, it's a Coon Rapids free kick from about 35 yards away.
Andrew Morgan, the free kick specialist, taking the shot.
Fires it right at the wall. Spanier blocked that. This is Fadima running. A little hand checking going on between he and Morgan. Pappas and a Tech player go down in a pile, and the foul is going to go against Bradley Kruger. And a Coon Rapids free kick.
Well, early on before the game started, you said there might have been a size difference between the two teams, but Tech not playing that way at all.
Well, they're aggressive. There's no doubt about that. And we talked about this. This could be a very physical situation, and so far it has been.
Pappas couldn't quite get the header on it. Tech heads it, but turned right around by Morgan. Nice moves and then shoots, but high and wide. I don't know that I've seen Andrew Morgan walk through 3 defenders all season.
He's got those skills. He hasn't had to use them. He's been more of a team player all year, but they're certainly showing you what he does have in his toolbox.
Yeah, nice job weaving through, and then just got a little too much air under it.
I believe in hockey you'd call that dangle. He can dangle.
Feeney's header, or Feeney's free kick headed by Andy Lynch. Sauer playing it back into the corner for Krafnick, stopped up by Nelson. He plays it up and out.
Textbook sweeper play there by Kevin.
Sauer will throw it in for St. Cloud. Looking for the corner, and Krafnick and got around Nelson. His shot, a big save by Biernat, headed away by Lynch, who was then knocked to the ground. Still in some pain down there. St. Cloud threatening from the far corner now. Playing it in on goal. And now we have a stoppage after Biernat made the save. Was that Pappas?
I think that's Pappas.
A foul there, not caught by the referee. Pappas was able to clear the ball out.
Yeah, he was
and taken out at the same time.
he was taken out big. It was a big collision. There he is on the field. And there's one player that Coon Rapids can't afford to lose from this lineup. You watch the collision coming in.
A great
right,
save.
Yeah,
by Biernat.
right here. Well, he just used all body.
Yeah, and
It didn't even look like he was going for the ball. It looked like he was going to take Pappas out in front of the goal.
No, not unless he was planning on using the back of his head for heading the ball. But to turn his back like that into AJ's.
Yep. And we just hope he's okay.
Unfortunately, that was missed by the referee.
slowly getting up, holding the back of his head, which is most likely where the head of Bradley Kruger hit him in that collision. And yeah, you're all-state midfielder, not someone you want to lose midway through the first half of the state quarterfinal.
See another angle. Yeah, it looked like that his head snapped back. Well, we'll see how this if this changes the tone of this game for Coon Rapids.
And after the stoppage, Coon Rapids will have a goal kick.
Just prior to that, there was a beautiful save by Biernat.
Yep.
Well, a great move by the Tigers' leading scorer, Ian Krafnick, to get in on goal. McBride playing it toward the St. Cloud end. Spaniard tied up along with Talixon, who finally came away with it. Talixon, a nice stop in the corner, playing it toward the middle. Here's Davis. His shot taken right off his foot by Garjay. Wilson will play it back toward the Tech end. Now back in. Davis, a one-touch shot that's well wide. And another goal kick coming up.
Well, and that was a good opportunity for Coon Rapids.
Yeah, Cardinals getting past what happened just down at the other end and getting back to creating opportunities to score on the goal.
Hey, to the ball now, White.
That one's out off Cruckton, a throw-in for St. Cloud Tech. McBride, a nice move. And trying to stay away from Fadima. Cardinal fans wanted a call there as they felt he was being pushed. Davis battling against the two Tech defenders. Got it away from Garjay, but can't keep it in. And, it's out off of Garjay. Cardinal throw in deep.
There's a lot of contact between these two teams in this game, and you'd mentioned that the fans were calling for an infraction.
Throw in headed by Garjay. Lynch tried to redirect it back toward the net, but it sails well wide. Another goal kick coming up.
Hard, gritty game.
Well, yeah, and I think the officials are letting them get away with a certain amount.
McBride got to the goal kick first. Morgan battling with Kruger. Spanier trying to turn it around. It'll bounce right back. Now played up. McBride in front of Fadima will play it back to Nelson, who turns it around. Stopped up by Froelich. Played out to Tech.
There are senior programs on sale near the entrance.
Lawrence Tallery at midfield let that one get away from him a little too far. Froelich going back the other way. McBride able to knock it off his foot.
Mike, check.
Nice job by Gavick to keep it in and play it back out near midfield. Void a corner kick.
Irondale High School.
Gavick trying to keep it in and nearly sent it. Biernet shaking his head, just play it out the end line.
It's tough
we'll
enough.
Take the corner kick. Let's not have you shooting it at me.
Yeah, it's tough enough when they shoot it at me. You don't need you shooting it at me.
Of course, the idea, Gavick trying to avoid those corner kicks, but it could be better than the alternative. Tallery will take this one away from Fadima. And now splitting two defenders, trying to feed Davis on the far side, or Talixon rather. It was broken up, but it will be a Coon Rapids throw in. I don't know how much different it is for the players, but the extra 20 yards of field is making it hard for me to see numbers on the far side. And this will be a Cardinal free kick in a dangerous spot.
Is it that, or you're just getting older and you can't see as well?
I would never admit to that if that were the case. Yeah, it's not as bright as
it's not as well lit.
The Cardinal Sports Complex either.
Andrew Morgan go with the kick. And here you can see
goes right at it, just a little too high.
5 Cardinals in the box there, hoping to make the most of any opportunity. Again, in the past, I've seen where it's down to the Tech free kick where they might only have their 2 attackers in the box. But the Cardinals let another opportunity there slip away, and they fall back to their defensive positions.
Just watching Adam Pappas on the sideline, now taking a little walk with the trainer, and St. Cloud playing it in a little too far for the man on the far side. That was Grant Spanier. Here's Tallery running again ahead to Wilson. Carr in the corner. Carr bringing it back, plays it out front, away by Garjay, but it'll be out of bounds and a corner kick for Coon Rapids.
Another opportunity for a set piece.
Yeah, I think, I was watching Adam over too on the sideline. I think obviously he would love to get in, and they just want to make sure that he's 100% healthy enough to get back into the action.
Corner kick into the fray, bounced off of, I believe,
McBride.
Must have been off of a Cardinal. I thought it went off a blue jersey and out, but it'll be a goal kick. And now Pappa's doing some sprints along the sideline, so that's a good sign, I would have to imagine.
Plus, he kept running and didn't come back. Then that means the blow to the head would be a
Quick Cardinal throw in here by Cruckton to Davis.
Taken away by Mavitz. Mavitz going to have to hustle and can't save it. It's going to be another.
Whoa.
Huh? How did he
The center
call that?
official's going to
No,
overrule.
okay.
It's okay.
Huh?
May have lost sight of exactly what was happening there.
May have.
As long as they corrected themselves, that's the main thing.
Clearly, Mavitz touched it well before it went out. And now corner kick from the near side. Morgan will go line drive to the short side, cleared away by Sauer. Now Sauer again out near midfield, headed by Sean Robb. Stopped up by Gavick now. Gavick keeping it away from Krafnick. Rushing on the side, taken away by Sauer. Mavitz looking ahead. Cruckton broke up the pass, but a foul called on Coon Rapids before the pass.
Slide tackle there was just a little late and a little off. Took out the
You'll see it here.
feet.
And the Tech player looks to the official for the call.
Mavitz will handle the free kick. McBride got the first touch. Krafnick letting it bounce. And I'm not sure that's exactly where he wanted that one to go as he looked to cross it out front. Instead, well past the goal. Nice little move by Spanier to get around Wilson, however. And then tried to play it into the corner for Hassan on the run, but a little too much on it. It'll be a goal kick for the Cardinals.
We are still knotted at 0. Both teams has a few opportunities out front.
You know, I noticed the Osseo soccer players all seem to have the matching mohawks.
Yep.
How about if either soccer team wins the state tournament, we give you a mohawk?
Chad, he's talking to you.
No.
I don't think he was.
No,
I don't think
it
he
really
was.
wasn't.
No, I think we should give you one and call it a Joe Hawk.
Well, if you've already said the mustache pretty much off limits.
It is off limits. Any part of my hair is off
You
limits.
are no fun at all. Do it for the kids,
A
Shapiro.
mohawk mustache?
Yeah, right.
No.
No, that wouldn't be
No,
good. That wouldn't be
no.
good. We'll leave that one alone.
How about if we just shaved the middle of the mustache
Yeah.
and you had the little things on each corner of your mouth?
How about if I just grow a Fu Manchu?
It'd take you about, what, 2-3 hours?
Yeah, maybe a couple of days. At least like to look good.
Tech trying to threaten in deep. That one up on top of the net as Kruger tried to turn and get it to the back post. Be another Cardinal throw or goal kick. 6.5 to play here in half number 1. And it looks like Adam Pappas is going to check back into this game.
Oh, that's great to see.
Walking over to the scorer's table.
Crockton gets a break as Chad Mack. Maybe one of our favorite wrestlers coming in.
One of our 14 favorite wrestlers.
There's a great many of them.
Yes, there are.
I'm not ready to pick favorites. Well,
Nope.
there are 14 classes, so. Playing no favorites yet. But, boy, you got to like that one called Adams, who's coming back and has a chance at his second state title. If he could do it, it would be the first time in school history that a wrestler has been able to win 2. Uh-oh, another corner kick for the Tigers. Krafnick goes short side. Nice little redirect by Nugent, but too short on the short side.
I think that one's been done before. They work on that one. You can tell.
Yeah, I think that was the set.
Yeah.
Very crafty,
Pap
very
is back onto the field.
dangerous set play.
Absolutely.
Good boot by Nelson out near midfield, and Pap is not afraid to go up and get it with his head. right back onto the field. Or was that McBride? That was Pappas, wasn't it? I don't know. Tallery.
It was one of them.
Well, they're about the same size. I got a long shot by McBride. And all the way to his right was Feeney to make the save. They're about the same height. They have about the same hair color. However, Pappas not wearing sleeves tonight, and McBride is. And they have different numbers on the back of their jerseys, in case you hadn't noticed that part.
It's very,
That one booted right back out.
it's very good of you to notice that stuff, Joe.
Thank you.
Kind of like Grand Central Station here through, we've got people moving in and out of this booth.
Well, we've got kind of the skinny aisle
You think?
with our backs against the
Stairs going up.
stairway.
Stairs.
Didn't they know that we had Irondale alum and former superstar Chad Keeney with us?
Apparently the press,
Again,
the press release didn't get out.
It's all relative.
Yeah,
not so sure it was
that's what
super.
You say,
I'm
that's
not
what
so
you
sure it was
say
big.
now. That's what you say now. Well, I heard when you walk those halls at Irondale, it's like people moved out of your way.
And asked for autographs. That's what I heard. Feeney to kick it away again. 3.5 now left in the first half. Tallery takes it away from Kruger. Trying to get away from Kraftnick. Stopped up by Sauer. Kraftnick runs into Gavick. Ball goes to Tallery. Here's Chad Mack. Looking for Carr in the middle. Carr had it knocked away from him by Statro. There's a shot off the post.
Ball still in play. Was there a whistle now for the handball from Carr? I believe he was saying that the Carr played it off his arm on the initial break-in, and he got him for that, which was 30 seconds ago.
Yeah, but just as exciting. Yeah, there you saw it went off the Tech player and then off the post.
A little slow to get up there was Jonathan Froelich for Tech, and he's limping a little bit. Might have twisted an ankle.
Throwing going to the Cardinals.
Now a groan for St. Cloud as they think they missed that one. Pappas throws it in, cleared away by Garjay. Stopped up by Tallery. Tallery, nice little reversal, left foot shot from a ways out, goes wide. Another goal kick. Number 11 of the first half for Feeney. Starting to rain a little bit as we near mid the half.
Yeah, listening to the weather forecasters, you knew inclement weather was a possibility, and
After all, this is Minnesota.
Mack from the corner playing it out to the middle. Tallery couldn't get there in time before it was headed away by Statro.
I always like to say if you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes.
Yeah, it'll change.
And now under 1 minute as we await a Tech throw-in.
We have a cell phone that was turned in to the concession stand, so if you're missing yours, that would be a place to check.
Hey, front crew.
You missed their cell phone, Howie?
I don't know. I'll call and see. If it rings down at the concession stand, then we'll know.
I could go without my cell phone for a couple months. I wouldn't miss it.
I couldn't go without a couple minutes.
I was going to say.
It's attached to me. Well, literally, it's attached to me.
The Wells Fargo all the TV selected this tournament. It will be presented by the championship.
This one cleared back out, and that should just about do it for the first half. We've played 40 minutes, but no one has scored. Both teams saw pretty good opportunities. But it'll come down to the second 40 as we go to the break. No score in this state quarterfinal. St. Cloud Tech 0, Coon Rapids 0. You're watching State Boys Soccer Tournament action on CTN.
Mom,
What?
you can't find Ichabod.
What?
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who would love to put up with you.
We can't do it without you. Join the March for Babies and help us give every baby a healthy start.
Back at Went Field at Iredale High School, state quarterfinals for boys soccer. The number 3 seeded Coon Rapids Cardinals and the unseeded St. Cloud Tech Tigers scoreless at the halfway point, but both teams have certainly had their chances. The Cardinals with a great chance very early in the game. This is probably the first 2 minutes. Pappas got to pass the keeper, but a big stop by Mavitz behind the play, and then the big save right there by Biernet, and Pappas got hurt on the ensuing collision. And then good save by Biernet on a shot from his own defender. And then right toward the end of the half, nice steal by Davis, bounces it off the defender and then off the post. But a handball had been called previous to that anyhow.
And there you see the stats: 14 attempts for Coon Rapids, 6 on goal, 5 corner kicks, and 8 goal kicks. Pretty even. 10 for Tech on the shot attempts, 4 of those on goal, 3 corner kicks, and 11 goal kicks. And it's about as even as the score is at 0-0.
Yeah, relatively balanced.
Yep.
Yep, we've seen a fast, relatively physical first half. Both teams, as we talked about, getting some good opportunities, some good looks at the net. Both goalkeepers have come up big on a couple of occasions, more notably Josh Biernet. And 2 defenders making big plays for the Tigers after Feeney was beat. We saw the one where Mavitz stopped it up, and then I think Garjay had one where the shot got past the keeper and he was able to stop it before it crossed the goal line.
And I know, Chad, you were talking about the field here, and then with a little bit of moisture on it, really will change what the field is going to be playing like. And so
yeah, the little bit of sprinkle that came down is going to make it a little bit slicker and faster, and those touches are going to be also much more important, making sure you keep that ball close to you.
And the sprinkles have, for the most part, it looks like stopped, at least for the time being.
That's also going to make putting your body and protecting the ball with your body that much more important as well.
Nick Nugent and Ian Krafnick standing in center field ready to start the second half for St. Cloud Tech. Davis, quick one touch, tried a little give and go with Tallery, but it was broken up. And now here's Tallery jumping on a loose ball into space, plays it back for Davis, but this is going to be offside anyhow. But Feeney scooped it up and quickly throws it ahead for Spanier. He plays it down.
There was an offsides call there, but you'll see that the ref more or less allowed the advantage to stay with Tech, and the goalie was able to distribute it.
Krafnick trying to get around the corner. Gavick did a nice job of angling him out. He lost it out the end line. It'll be a goal kick for Coon Rapids.
Picked up where we left off with the fast play.
Yep.
Nelson, another good boot. McBride awaits it near midfield. Stopped up by Mavitz. Got it ahead to Nugent. Knocked off his foot, but right back to the Tech defender. That one cleared well out of bounds.
Sean Robb.
Well, now, Chad, you know, I think the first goal here is really important in the second half.
Oh, the first goal here
carries
a lot of weight with it.
Well, and we talked about it at the beginning, two teams that are great defensively and don't give up a lot of goals, so we didn't expect to see a blowout. Coon Rapids would certainly love to have the kind of offensive output they had in the section final against Anoka with 5 goals, but not very likely to happen. I don't believe that St. Cloud Tech has given up more than 4 goals in any contest this year.
No, anytime you get to the state tournament, you know that all the teams will be good and well matched, and 1-0, 2-1 games is what you can basically expect.
You have to play pretty good soccer just to get here.
And again, the Tigers have not given up a goal in their last 4 games. That includes all 3 in the section tournament. Feeney with a goal kick. Kruger played it ahead, stopped up by Gavick for Coon Rapids. Battling with Spanier, and Gavick's going to be called for the hold. That draws the ire of the Cardinal crowd.
They weren't too happy with the call of the official there.
No, I thought the play was pretty even. Both were grabbing.
Well, he did kind of hook his arm and try and spin him around. I'm pretty sure that's against the rules. But from near midfield wasn't a very dangerous spot. Cardinals turned it around, but Tigers sent it right back to their defensive third. Pappas touches it to midfield. Talixon, near side, his pass attempt broken up. Here's Pappas moving it ahead. Kicked right back out by Stottero. Nugent looking for the corner. His cross blocked, out of bounds. It'll be a corner kick for St. Cloud Tech.
They're going to try and get some pressure here on the Cardinal net.
Spanier will take the kick. Goes to the middle. It's Pappas who gets a header on it. Tallery sends it out near midfield. Stopped up by Stottero. And taken right back by Tallery. Long through ball trying to get Kyle Davis behind the defense. And Garjay will clear it away. Pappas kicks it over his head. Tallery running onto it. Going one way. Unleashing a left foot, but high and wide.
Yeah, as you can see, both teams have individuals have quite a bit of skill. It's just a matter of which team's going to put together the best teamwork or finish on the scoring opportunity.
Now, Tallery has that speed to get around the corner, just trying to get a good shot on goal.
Good boot by Feeney. Gavick came up to challenge. Krafnick had a head on it. Collision as Robb went down with Kruger. Krafnick will get it after Gavick gambled a little bit. Krafnick in the corner looking across. That stopped up. Nelson able to knock it off his foot. Turned around, played to the middle, a shot and just wide for Grant Spanier.
Now, Spanier had a nice advantage right in front of the net and tried to direct it to the corner, but just couldn't get enough on it to push it a little wide.
Yeah, Krafnick earlier, you saw where Gavick kind of gambled. He did a good job of positioning himself with the ball, and that's where this wetter, slicker turf, that's more or less the play that's going to get you the advantage.
He knew he had an advantage there as well.
Nelson to boot it away. McBride gets ahead on it. Davis settles it, leaves it for Tallery on the run. That one got away from him a little, but he's got the speed to catch up. Trying to get around Kruger, taken off his foot by Spanier, battling along the baseline. Did the splits to stop that one up. Here's Tallickson with it. Cleared. Pappas comes in and boots it hard wide.
If he meant to do the splits or the fact that the turf's a little wet and he did the splits, I'm not so sure. But
he was doing anything he could to get his foot out there, and he did it.
That's a play you got to be careful because you can get injured on something like that.
I'm guessing that you could, yes. But much more likely if you or I were to do that than someone who's in pretty good shape.
If I did the splits, there'd be something definitely wrong.
Well, see, I did do the splits 2 weeks ago in my
we won't talk about that,
but,
though.
Let me tell you, it took a little time to recover. Like,
right there, Tyler Tallickson.
Still happening.
Has been moved up more or less to outside midfield with the need for speed up front. And
called for running over the Tech player. Free kick from deep in that end.
For the most part, this season we've seen Tyler back at outside deep.
Pappas to throw in near midfield. Davis had it bounce away from him a little further than he wanted. Here's Fadima moving it ahead. Broken up by Pappas. Davis getting around the corner. And now cutting back and dropped the defender. The shot hit traffic out front, or the pass attempt rather. McBride playing it into the middle. He's battling against Spanier. He lets a shot go and it sails wide.
Well, some pressure in front of the Tech net. Cardinals trying to open the scoring here in the second half.
Nice job by Davis to spin Stottero around and put him right on the turf.
Tech doing a wonderful job of keeping the Cardinals' attacks and their best opportunities outside the 18-yard box.
Gavick heading it back into the Tech end. Kruger turns it around. Gavick couldn't stop it up. Robb over to help out. He plays it back across midfield, out off of Mavitz for Tech. Cardinal throw in midfield. Bounces off of Mavitz. There's Tallery using that speed to create. Tied up with Garjay. Garjay able to get back up quicker. And it goes out off of Tallery. A goal kick coming up for the Tigers.
As you mentioned, with his speed, able to get some pressure. The defenders for Tech have to make sure that they keep an eye on Lawrence Tallery because he'll beat you with that speed.
Well, he came running in from behind, I think it was Kruger, and took the ball away, and then Garjay stopped it up, but it looked like he might be able to get around Garjay, and then both got tangled up. Long pass to the corner, a little too far for McBride. Sends it in, and no chance Davis was going to catch up with that one. Another goal kick for Tech. Tallickson keeps it in play. Pappas gets it to Morgan. Pass behind Tallickson and out of bounds. 10 minutes gone in this second half. Still no score. These two teams battling for a chance to get to the Metrodome in the state semifinals on Monday. Good control by Froelich, but then knocked away out of bounds by the Cardinals. Spanier in for Stottero. Ahead for Fadima, pressured by McBride.
Yeah, the Coon Rapid faithful not happy with that call. And
well, McBride was calling for the throw in for Coon Rapids,
yep.
and they were gonna Whoa. That one I think was pretty clearly off the back of Nugent, but not called that way. Either way, Gavick able to break it out, get it ahead to Tallery. He flips it into the corner. Long run for Davis. Feeney will pick it up in front of him. Pappas stopping it up. Here's Tallery. Getting around the corner. The shot off of Garjay out of bounds. A corner kick, Coon Rapids.
Boy, look at his speed. He is just so quick to the ball.
Emmanuel Carr rushing onto the field and into the fray. Andrew Morgan will set up from the near corner.
Yeah, quickness in soccer is more or less a weapon that can only be defended with quickness in return. So usually both
Pappas
teams
a header, but put it up over the net.
put their quickest players either at defender or attacker. But Tallery's got that 0 to quickness in 0.3 seconds.
He does.
Fun to watch.
Feeney might have a black and blue foot by the time morning comes around. He's got, I believe, 18 goal kicks. Not all have, I believe his defenders have taken a couple of them for him, but.
I talked to Jeremy, the trainer, and that actually can cause deep bone bruise. Can.
Or DBB as it's referred to.
The athletic training world.
Yeah.
Or the
Truckton playing it ahead. Now a Cardinal throw in. Tech doing a really nice job of just outnumbering the Cardinals every time they're down in this defensive end.
Well, Chad talked about how he thinks the game plan is defensively for Tech. Get your opportunities, a couple opportunities on offense, but just make sure your defense is strong.
Yeah, I think if they came into this game and that they're thinking they'd end up being a 0-0 tie and goes to a shootout, I think they'd see that as a successful game.
And this is going to be a corner kick as Pappas tried to clear it out the side and it didn't make it. Colin Sauer will handle it for the Tigers. Serves it out near the top of the 18. Andrew Morgan, the only one there, heads it back, but Talixon broke up the initial pass, and now it gets to Spanier. Davis takes it away from him. Let it get away from him a little bit. Stottero turns it around. Morgan battling with Spanier. Nice job getting right back up after the slide tackle. Played into the corner and running over to scoop it up is Biernat. Collision near midfield, no call. Ball out of bounds to the Cardinals. Carr trying to take it away from Fadima. Tigers trying to play it up the sideline, broken up by Gavick, out of bounds to the Tigers. Robb heads it right back out. Shot, big save by Biernat. Knocked it up and over the net. A great shot from Krafnick. An even better save by the Cardinal keeper.
Oh, and he's fired up. Watch this wonderful save by Biernat. It was a great shot, just right where it needed to be. He was able to poke it up and over the goal, and that's a big save.
Give you a glimpse of why he's all state right there.
Yep.
And the corner kick goes short side, out of bounds, off the Cardinals. Another corner kick coming up.
But a defensive play like that certainly can energize a team and have its benefits on the other end of the field.
Morgan, first one to get to that one near the top of the 18. Fadima plays it back to Stotero. Now back into the middle. Turned around by McBride. Long shot, and that one just went wide, and it's going to be a goal kick.
And Tech getting some pressure on the Cardinal net.
They've only got one shot on goal in this half, but it was a good one.
By the center official, it was called a goal kick. However, the linesman called it a corner kick. So,
and I think he's right, because
may have gone off, deflected off it.
Biernet got a piece of it.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Spanier will take it.
He's got the range of a gazelle.
This one bounces all the way over to the far side. Sauer tracking it down, plays it in for Nugent. Nugent trying to get around Talixon in the corner. And this time it will be a goal kick.
The range of a gazelle. Is that like a cooking, something you cook on?
No, I'm just thinking about it as far as, kind of acreage a gazelle can cover on the Serengeti.
I understand. Oh, the Serengeti. So now it's not the touchdown zone anymore.
You haven't had the opportunity to do quite as many games.
No, and I'm finding it very enjoyable.
Yeah, he likes his metaphors. Sometimes they're a little obtuse. He also likes his grammar. We have been known to get into big words. Tallery playing it near side for Wilson. Back to Carr, a little too tall.
Yeah, big fan of Reader's Digest and word power.
Cardinals
the big printed edition? Or the
no,
just the regular. Okay, all right.
No, he's not quite as old as you yet.
I just don't know. I gotta ask
he is, however, older than I am.
By a year, I think. Isn't that correct?
That is correct. Still older.
And wiser.
That one off a Tech defender and out the end line. A corner kick coming up for Coon Rapids. Anyone is wiser than him. Let's be honest.
No, you're not getting an argument from me.
Didn't expect it. Caleb Gavick will handle the corner kick for the Cardinals. Send it out. Rob Wilson ahead on it. McBride knocked down in the box, no call. Flying in with a header was Pappas. Or no, that's Rob Wilson again. And put it right in on goal. Feeney faced to make the save. Rob misjudged it. Good play by Nelson as he was outnumbered deep in the Cardinal end. Randall stops it up. Pappas playing it to the corner. Davis had to go off his chest and out. He pleaded momentarily for a push from behind, won't get it.
Number 15, Muhammad Hassan.
Nelson will stop it up and nearly lose it out of bounds, but played it back up, played back in by the Tigers. It's Fadima forcing it in, looking for Hassan in the corner, turned around by Coon Rapids. Now played to the center of the field. Spanier had a header on it. Krafnick couldn't quite turn it around. Plays it back near midfield. Stotero plays it back in. Gavick and Spanier collided. Gavick goes down. Spanier with the ball. And Gavick tripped him up a little bit.
Gavick may have been retaliating for the fall he believes he was subjected to.
Yeah, a little bit of a push there.
Yeah, just a touch. Certainly right call being made. Three-man wall set up by Biernet.
Spanier plays it out front. It was that Fadima who had a piece of it just in front of the Cardinal keeper. Gavick to center field. Garjay stops it up there. Wilson puts a header on it. Froelich looking for the middle of the field. He got past Nelson. Biernat will scoop it up right in front.
Well, that was a smart play by Biernat. He saw that ball come in relatively weakly, just came out and grabbed it before the Tech
right
player
in front
could
of
get to it.
Krafnick,
Yep.
who's their leading scorer again, 23 goals this season.
Yeah, and Biernat can be a little aggressive there because that's a physical battle he's not going to lose. Pretty solid kid.
This will be another goal kick for
Range of a gazelle.
With some athletic ability?
Yeah, absolutely.
Feeney gets it out near midfield. McBride and Fadima battling for it. Here's Tallery to Pappas. Looking to change fields, but that was stopped up by Spanier, and a handball called. And this is a Cardinal opportunity right here.
Is that Spanier who they called the handball on?
Yep. Tallery, Pappas, now Davis, and Randall all standing out by the ball. Four-man wall for the Tigers. Pappas will run in, run aside, the shot right in, comes right back to Tallery. Tallery trying to get it in. Pappas puts it in on goal, and Feeney makes the save.
There's some pressure that time by the Cardinals.
Wilson taking it away from Spanier. Tigers able to turn it right back around. Throw in by Helminick. And another throw in for St. Cloud Tech. A couple of substitutions. Kyle Davis going to come out for the Cardinals, be replaced by Andrew Morgan. And Brad Kruger back onto the field for the Tigers.
It's just nice seeing AJ back in the game and playing at the level we're used to seeing from him. A little bit of a concern in that first half with the collision.
Nelson plays this one right back out. Throw in a dangerous spot again for the Tigers as they're going to make another substitution here. Helminick coming back in. Rob heads it right back. Hassan settles it, plays it out front. Nice header by Gavick, and Pappas takes it away. Pappas, long through ball, and a little too much comes in on Feeney.
That's a handball.
Well, it is certainly incensed the Cardinal faithful.
Well, he was at least 2 or 3 feet outside the box holding onto the ball. Interesting non-call by the linesman.
Yeah, it's not something that wouldn't go unnoticed when the goaltender is holding the soccer ball.
And 50 people jump up and say, hey, he's out of the box. Kruger able to get this one turned around. Nice play by Gavick to stop it up near midfield. Now racing to the middle. Gets it to Tallery. Tallery spinning to his left. Cutting back. Still has the ball. Feeney dives out and covers it up.
Well, both goaltenders remain to be very aggressive here. We'll see it right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
he knew he was because he immediately tried to get back and into the box.
Krafnick in the far corner. Battling and throwing down Gavick, and that foul is going to go against Tech. Krafnick may have felt that he was fouled first, but
I think
not always the first one that they call.
Usually the second one, a little elbow to the face.
The one where one guy is thrown to the ground by the other one, that's the one they're going to kick.
Yeah.
Tallery takes it away, leaves it for Tallickson. Tallickson can't keep it in.
That's Rob Wilson with the missed
Or Wilson, sorry.
It's all right.
That's why you're here, Keeney, to correct us.
Well, at least there's a reason.
Well, one of many. One of many.
I'm sure the viewers have been asking that.
It's been unbelievable. We put up a poll on the website, and it was just incredible. We had to take it down.
Pappas didn't even have to move, just hit him right in the head. Okay, I'll just stand here and let that happen. Tallery using his speed on the sidelines, but can't keep it in.
That was a nice move to get around, but as you mentioned, a little bit too much on that. Brought it out of bounds.
That's one nice thing about this field is there's no need for a crown, so that does it does play true.
Played back toward the center. Mavitz tracks it down and plays it ahead. Gavick again stepping up to take away a pass. Morgan at midfield. Ahead for Tallery. He played it in. Here's Carr with a chance. Got it past the keeper. Still battling for it. Can't get a shot off. Wilson in there as well. Here comes Andrew Morgan. He's got a couple of defenders on him. They're able to force it back out. Hassan able to sidestep a slide tackle attempt by Robb. Now plays it ahead for Krafnick. Krafnick looking to get to the corner. Stopped up by Nelson, sent the other way by Gavick. Kruger to Hassan. That pass a bit behind Sauer. He'll play it up the sidelines, and that was a big hit as Robb was knocked to the ground, but
yes.
We'll see it again right here.
Interesting no call. Well, like the referee wasn't looking.
Yeah, I was going to say it wasn't like it was right in front of him.
Will be a Tigers throw-in.
Head coach Jason Jacob. And now, now a goal, if one of these teams could score a goal with this amount of time remaining, it could be devastating the way these two teams are playing defense.
Yeah, you hope the way both teams have been playing, it's a good goal, unquestionable goal, solid goal.
I just don't want to see it go to shootout. It's a tough way to get knocked out of the state tournament. Foul called in deep on Coon Rapids.
Frustration, some of the emotion starting to show on Pappas there.
Sauer will look at a two-man wall, plays it over. Pappas got a header on it and clears it back out. Davis had it kicked away in front of him by Froelich. Out of bounds on the far side to St. Cloud Tech.
Officials are needed in all sports at all levels of competition. So, make the call.
Talixon steps in and break up that pass off the head of Froelich. Stottero plays it back in. McBride and Fadima both had a head on it. Talixon ahead to Pappas. Sorry, that was Nelson ahead to Pappas and then to Talixon. I'll get it straight by this time next year or something. Carr plays it in behind the defense. Feeney easily grabs that one, rolling it ahead to Mavitz.
It's gonna run.
Long boot, and that's going to go all the way out the end line.
Well, what you can say is your viewers can certainly see that Tech has earned their 14-2-4 record.
Yes, no doubt.
Very good squad, play a very physical game.
Nelson, a great boot. Carr got a header on it. It's going to go all the way down to Feeney.
Who's inside the box?
At least this time.
Fark chasing it down on the far side for Tech. Crossing to the middle, Biernet goes out and takes it away. Carr stops it up, plays it far side. Cruckton running in, and handball call.
Now we're getting around down to the 8-minute mark left in this ballgame. Still no score.
In regulation.
In regulation.
Carr with some room on the near side. Got away from him. Stotero there. Talixid stops it up for Coon Rapids. Carr, a nice spin on the sideline and a nice cut back toward the middle. The pass to Andrew Morgan. Here's Davis. A shot and a goal!
Oh, what a big goal for Coon Rapids. That was just huge. Left it for Davis. Davis able to take it. A nice shot off the right foot into the goal. 1-0 Coon Rapids.
Exciting soccer.
Yeah, I mean,
and you talked about it being a good goal, an unquestionable goal. There was no question on that one. Well set up. 4 guys passed to make that play happen. They got it to the center. Morgan leaves it right in front of the Cardinals' leading scorer. There you saw the setup from Carr to Morgan to Davis to the back of the net. 7:45 remaining in regulation.
Well, now this time with 7:45 remaining really puts the pressure on Tech.
And they come flying to the other end. Cleared away by Robb, stopped up by Kruger. Kruger looking for the middle, off the head, and a diving save by Biernet, who covers up in front of the charging Ian Krafnick.
Yeah, that was a huge save because Krafnick, it looked like the ball came out a little bit. Krafnick was right there, and Biernet able to bring it in.
Well, and it was a great shot by their second leading scorer. Header, really. And diving save, and yeah, it did come out a bit. And now a foul deep in the Tech end.
Tyler doing a good job of forcing the issue there, and a little bit too much body by the Tech defender. Be a set piece. And again, this is where we see that time is more or less the Cardinals' friend. They're not going to be in a hurry.
No. See some slower substitutions. Tallery sends it out front. A header by Pappas. Davis couldn't control it. Robb keeping it in deep. And now the Tigers breaking it a bit. Tallery with a good takeaway. Taking it down into the corner, drawing defenders with him. Getting taken out and getting
Certainly
another.
Should be a card there.
Free kick from a dangerous spot, and quickly over to help him back up was Morris Gargier. Good.
No card coming, however, I think that that foul certainly would have justified it.
Well, and Gargier kind of maybe headed it off by going and helping him up. Tallery sending it in again, and Feeney grabbed it just in front of Brian McBride.
You can see now the Tech defenders playing more further upfield, obviously for good reason. Davis being called in the foul there.
Time ticking down. We're getting close to the 5-minute mark remaining in the ball game.
Krafnick to take the free kick. And the Cardinals with an offside trap. I really don't like that. I don't know that I've ever seen one quite to that extent, where you have 7 guys run the other way and leave nothing but blue jerseys back there. But it's certainly effective.
It's using the rules of the game against your opponent. But we've had plenty of discussions about the offsides and We know where you stand on it, Joe.
We need a blue line. It's just easier for a guy like me to understand. Here's Carr running in and taking the ball away from the defenders. A shot to goal!
Oh, what a nice goal by Carr. And that certainly will do it. With 4:21 remaining.
I hope your fans at home can hear the cheering that's going on out in the crowd right now.
I'm sure that they can, but we can open the window.
Look at that.
Cardinal fans just in front of us. And, you know, it looked like all three St. Cloud defenders were looking at someone else to take that ball. Carr came in 1-on-3, took it away, cut to his right, and then put one past a diving Feeney. And all of a sudden, Coon Rapids has 2 goals in just over 3 minutes.
It goes to show you that their game plan from this get-go was the right game plan. To focus heavily on defense, and it was able to keep us more or less at bay for 75 minutes, 77 minutes or so. But as soon as they started to force the issue on the offensive side, it opens up things that our attackers are able to exploit.
72 minutes and 15 seconds.
Thank you for the correction there, Joe.
Not a problem. Tallery getting around the corner, plays it back out front. The defender is there. Tech trying to turn it. Talixon keeping it in deep. And now a push in deep, and the Cardinals with a free kick from a dangerous spot.
Goals are going our way. Calls are going our way.
Well, yeah, and that second goal definitely took whatever I think St. Cloud Tech had out of them. Pretty difficult. You know, this whole game goes, most of it without a score, and then 2 quick goals by Coon Rapids.
Morgan is shot right
Didn't miss by
toward
much.
the net, but just wide, and a goal kick coming up for the Tigers. Under 3 minutes to play, and the Cardinals are starting to sniff the Metrodome.
Yes, they are.
I think I need to say it now, guys. I couldn't be happier to be doing a state tournament game with you two.
Wow.
This is
Well, thank you.
excitement magnified.
Well, it has been a while since we've had the privilege of doing a state tournament game, so it's nice to be back. And this will be our first trip to the Metrodome since 1999.
I've been there for a Viking game.
Girls, yeah. Well, I've been there for a handful of Twins games each year since then, and a couple of football games tossed in there. But our first trip to a soccer state tournament game at the Metrodome since 1999,
Yes.
when the girls finished 3rd.
I remember it well.
Were you there you missed one of the 2 games at the Metrodome.
I missed.
I don't remember if it was the 3rd place. I think it was the 3rd place game. You were there for the semifinals.
Yes, I was there for the semifinals.
Another chance as Wilson comes crashing in, and Feeney took a lump there. Carr gets it ahead to Tallery. Tallery back to Carr. Knocked off his foot. Tallery back to Morgan, across to Pappas. Long pass to the far corner. A header by Carr. Went off of the defender and out, so a corner kick coming up for Coon Rapids.
And Coon Rapids wins.
Obviously, that
2-0.
first goal was the turning point in the game, but the goal or the save by Biernut immediately after that was, I think, equally as crucial.
There's a good header in by Randall. Pappas trying to send it back. And a good job by Feeney to get on top of it.
Well, you talk about the pressure on the St. Cloud goal here in the last 8 minutes.
I think that was that Kitasak who was right on the doorstep.
I think it should be mentioned, too, that the second goal scored by Emmanuel Carr, he, going into this season, was not a captain, but he was elected a captain by his teammates as the season went on, just for being a vocal leader, and here he is helping send his team to the Metrodome.
Well, and scoring just an absolutely crucial goal that, as Howie mentioned, really broke the spirits of St. Cloud. You know, you go 72 minutes without a goal. Cardinals score a pretty one, but then they came right back and had some good chances, looks at the other end right after that. And then after, once Carr scored his goal,
floodgates open.
Yeah, the writing was pretty much on the wall.
Well, it deflated everything that St. Cloud had, and they've been playing such a good game, and they've been pressuring Coon Rapids as well all evening long. Pretty big defensive battle for most of this game, and Cardinals using that offensive strength down late in this game, not down late, but later in this game to open it up.
All right, we'll take a short break. We'll be back to wrap things up and get some post-game reaction after this. You're watching boys soccer state tournament action on CTN. The second season starts right now. Wow, do we have a show for you tonight?
Busy afternoon Monday for firefighters trying to contain several grass fires along.
This is going to be a very good and very close game.
Welcome to Sports Night. I'm Joe Young.
And I'm Howie Shapiro.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Talk of the Town.
Such a big event definitely needs a third man. Back at Went Field at Irondale High School, the Coon Rapids Cardinals are moving on to the Metrodome with a state quarterfinal win over St. Cloud Tech Tigers here today, 2-0. On my right, keeper Josh Biernatt. On my left, Kyle Davis. And Kyle, you got the game-winning goal. First of all, how's it feel? A tight game, less than 10 minutes to play, you got that goal. What was the feeling to get one past their keeper?
Well, actually, I didn't actually think I was going to get the shot. I went in and I stuck the defender, and the ball came out and it planted right at my feet. I had the wide open corner, so I just placed it in there, and it felt amazing. I've always dreamed, getting that big goal, and this is kind of that big goal that I've always been waiting for. This was certainly a big goal, and then Emmanuel Carr adds one a couple minutes later to really just cement your place in the Metrodome. Your feelings right now about moving on to the Metrodome? My heart is pounding. It hasn't stopped since the game ended. It's been going from minute 1 to minute 80. It's still going right now. I'm excited to go to the Dome. Our coach, Paco, actually assistant coach of Jason, has been bugging us since we were 9th graders and just saying, oh, we made it to the Dome, and now we can finally say, hey, we were there too. So. All right, I've got to ask, an opponent you're very familiar with, the Osseo Orioles. You tied them in the regular season. What are your thoughts on playing them at the Metrodome? They're a good team. They have Mr. Soccer, Whitney Brown. I think we got the defense that can handle them. We're going to play tough. It'll be a really exciting game and a really fun game, and I can't wait. All right, congratulations on the big victory. Turn to my other side, Josh Biernatt. You made a couple of big saves, including the punch over the net there. Were you surprised with how much pressure St. Cloud brought against you guys?
A little bit, but that is a great team. They pushed the entire game. They worked hard at every ball, and some balls we just didn't work hard. They beat us to them, and they got the shots they needed, but fortunately I got lucky and got a few good saves. You might have had a little skill involved in there too, but does it get scarier as you get later in a game like that, knowing there's that much on the line and one little mistake could cost you? Yes, it does. Just like Minnetonka, we went 0-0 and then into overtime, and they got deflection off Brian McBride, and then it's tough on me to have to try and hold it the entire game, and thank goodness that Kyle came through for us. And what was your thought when you saw the goal go in? I was so happy, and then in the first half I thought we scored, and I was just cheering, and then it didn't happen. And then when Kyle finally scored, I was so excited, and just knowing we're going to the Dome, and it's a great feeling. Well, congratulations. A great victory, a great season. We'll take another short break. We'll be right back with head coach Jason Jacob right after this.
We've heard a lot lately about how families are struggling to make ends meet. Many of them will need help this winter to pay their heating bills. Fortunately, the Salvation Army's Heat Share program is there, helping families in crisis pay their heating bills when they have nowhere else to turn. Heat Share relies on funding from utilities like CenterPoint Energy and the generous contributions of customers. Please help. Make a donation today by contacting the Salvation Army at 1-800-SAL-ARMY. The family you help could be right next door. This message brought to you by CenterPoint Energy.
Back at Irondale High School, the Cardinals a 2-0 winner over the St. Cloud Tech Tigers in state quarterfinal action. They're on their way to the Metrodome on Monday. I'm with head coach Jason Jacob. And coach, what were your thoughts when you saw that goal go in?
Finally. I mean, that's a long time to wait for that. It was a very long 80 minutes, 72 until the goal came. But we talked about a halftime, 0-0. It's going to be a full 80-minute game. Just keep playing our game. The goal will come. It's been that way for us all season long, that eventually a goal comes. And it was nice that it came when it did, so we didn't have to, play any extra time. So.
And you got outstanding play from your keeper, as you always do. Josh Biernat came up with that huge punch over the net just before you guys scored. That's got to make your heart stop for a second.
Yeah, and that's, he's a 3-year starter. He's a captain. He's earned his All-State honors. Keepers like that are supposed to make those saves when you need them. And we had that conversation day one, that he needed to change some ties into wins and some, losses into ties, and saves like that, just completely change the complexion of the game. Because we go down one there, and now we have to change what we're doing, and it allows us to keep playing our game.
Now you move on to the Metrodome on Monday. You'll face Osseo, who you tied in the regular season. And as Kyle mentioned, Mr. Soccer, Whitney Brown, your thoughts on that contest?
Well, we're going to play it like we've been playing all season long. We're going to focus on ourselves. We'll make a couple little adjustments to what Osseo does and does well. We're looking forward to a very, very good game, but we're not going to change what we've done. We are who we are, and we're going to go out there and play our game and just try to continue to do what we've been doing. It's gotten us this far, so no reason to change now.
Absolutely. Congratulations on the big win, Coach. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from the second half. It was a good end-to-end battle all night long, but then more than 72 minutes in, Kyle Davis got behind the defense, puts it behind, and then 2.5 minutes later, it's Emmanuel Carr with a steal, cuts to the middle, and puts it home with the right foot. That put the Cardinals up 2-0 and really sealed the deal for the one-seeded team, and I guess you would call them the favorites. As we look at the numbers, the Cardinals shot almost twice as many at the St. Cloud end, 14 on goal versus the 6 the Tigers had. Corner kicks almost dead even. Goal kicks a bit higher for Tech, of course, because the ball spent a little more time down at their end than it did at the Cardinals' end. And guys, Chad, I know super excited about the section final game against Anoka. Super excited about this game. Will we be able to Monday evening?
I think so. But those last 8 minutes of this game were of soccer. I mean, that was just awesome to see. Floodgates opened up. You saw Coon Rapids soccer and all it could, bring to the table. And I hope we bring that to the table against a strong Osseo team, a conference opponent, and a Whitney Brown.
Don't forget Whitney Brown because he's pretty good, but they've got a number of very good players. They won a little more convincingly this evening against Lakeville North, a 3-1 win. It's been 9 years, and we're going back to the Dome.
Well, first of all, if anybody can get me excited, Chad Koenig is the guy to get me excited about soccer. But you're right, though. This is, I had an opportunity to watch Osseo in the first game. They are really good. They attack very well. They're very quick, and I know the Cardinals have the experience with them, and so that's a good thing. Again, it's going to be on the field turf, and we'll see how that affects Coon Rapids and Osseo as well. But I like the Kyle Davis's remark about how they had the defense against Osseo, and I think that they know that they're as good a team. They're going to come in there and they're going to play their best soccer, and I think we're in store for an excellent match.
Yeah, we should be, and you talk about their defense. They did a nice job tonight limiting St. Cloud's really good opportunities, and then they've got an all-state keeper in Josh Biernat who was able to stop those few good opportunities that the Tigers had. So the Cardinals advance in the brackets. They will see the Osseo Orioles at the Metrodome on Monday night at 6 o'clock, and a chance to advance to the state championship game which would be on Thursday, October the 30th, also at the Metrodome. And we will follow them as far as they go. Coming up here, the girls in-state quarterfinal action on Friday night, 7:30 over at Parker Cottage Grove. Go cheer them on and then watch it here on CTN at midnight. Our friends from Cable 12 will be doing the commentary, but we will have it for you here on CTN starting at midnight on Friday night. Then on Saturday, it's section semifinal action for football. The number 2 seeded Cardinals hosting the number 6 seeded Cambridge Isani team that knocked off Anoka in the semifinals. And then on Monday, the 27th, we will see Coon Rapids against Osseo at the Metrodome, and that will premiere here at midnight. Cardinals moving on to the state semifinals. Again, the final score from Lakeville North, or from Irondale High School. It's Coon Rapids 2, St. Cloud Tech 0. I want to thank everybody out there for joining us and continuing to support everything we do here at CTN. For the entire crew, including Chad Keeney and Howie Shapiro, I'm Joe Young saying goodnight.